finding self-storage facilities is so much easier than you think. I don't have a real estate background. I haven't been a broker. I don't have a real estate license. I'm just a normal guy with a semi-normal job. I'm a police officer. And we just purchased a self-storage facility. And we have a portfolio that we're building bit by bit. And it is not that difficult. Yeah, there's a whole lot of variables involved. There's 3 that you want to think of is, can you find the facilities? Can you operate the facilities? And then can you find capital, right? So in any order, you want to figure out which of those things that you're really good at and then dive into that. And then bit by bit, grow to where you've accomplished all 3 of those things, where you can operate the facility, you can find the facility, and then you have the capital to deploy for more facilities. So this is as simple and basic as we get. I'm going to show you starting with Google. This is pretty much free, minus a little bit of skip tracing that I'll show you. Anybody can do this because this is how we started. I'm being fully transparent with this, and the facility I'm going to show you, we found this facility. This is it. This is our facility. Okay. So you want to think of good growing areas. So you could even, I mean, you could pick anywhere, right? If you're local to some place that you feel like would be a good opportunity to add to purchase storage in, awesome, go for it. But all you need to do is really Google search fastest growing cities in the US. Okay, right, and you could pick any one of these areas. It would be good to note that most of these are primary markets. And so you're going to jump into those markets and you're going to find REITs. So real estate investment trusts. And so that's Public Storage, Extra Space, CubeSmart, all of those big name players. So you could pick one of these cities. And let's do this. Since Houston popped up there, you could pick one of these cities. Go to maps. And then if this is primary, right, then outside of this here would be kind of secondary. And then outside here would be tertiary, right? So if you don't feel like you can jump in and play in the primary market, that's fine. Go out a little further, right? Because not everybody's living in here, but they're living on the outskirts. So all that to say is pick your market, okay? When you pick your market, you do a little search. So in this case, we went into Kansas. And so I'm going to show you, you knowing that we have a facility in here, I'm going to show you just how it starts. So for example, you pick a city like Houston, or in this case, South Hutchinson, Kansas. So South Hutchinson, Kansas, it's just a simple Google search. You go in here, South Hutchinson, Kansas, and then you're in there in Google. Take that away and go storage. Okay. And that pops up all these storage facilities near and around South Hutchinson, Kansas. Okay. All you're going to need to do is just go through and look at these facilities. So see if they're hitting the high criteria market. Do they have a website? No. Do they have a Google page? No. What are those pictures that show up on the Google page? Let's look at this one right here. Okay. How are the pictures? So 5 pictures. What's the quality of the pictures? Not that great. Let's go back. Does it have a website? It does have a website, but how is the website? It's not bad. Okay. So what you're doing is you're picking an area. So you're picking an area. You're doing a nearby search of self-storage facilities. At this point, you're just kind of marking everything down. The main points right away is, does it have a website? Does it have a Google page? How are the photos on this? Does it look a little bit run down? Like you could add value to it. These are the main points that you're looking at just to get this initial list out of the way. Okay. From there, all you would do is continue to hone in on that criteria. And you can figure that stuff out by skip tracing. I'll get that in a second. But if we're just going from like a very basic, simple, this is where we start standpoint, is pick your market, right? Is it a good market? I mean, on your first facility, yeah, like you want a good market, but it's not as important as if it's cash flowing or not, right? And you can find that out later. So is it an area that you want to go into, right? Pick that area, do a self-storage search, locate all of these like value add opportunities. And right off the bat, like I was saying, it's, does it have a website? Does it have a Google page? Does it look a little bit run down? What's, the size of it? What's the area look like around it? Mark those facilities down in your Excel sheet or your Google Sheets, and then start calling them. And the conversation might go something like this: like, "Hey, I'm looking I'm looking to purchase some property in your area. There is a facility down the street that I know is for sale. Do you have any information on that?" Right. So you're starting the conversation off, not asking about their facility in particular. You're saying, "Hey, I'm looking to purchase a facility in your area down the street. It's Hutchinson storage units. Just want to get a good feel for the area. Wanting to talk to local owners. Do you know anything about the facility? How is it for you in the area?" Right? You start chatting with them, and then in a roundabout way, they either might mention, well, that they're looking to sell, or when you end your conversation, you can say, "Hey, we'll be coming into the area. If at any time you are thinking about selling or want to just talk prices, we could provide you with that, or we could help you out with that," right? So just kind of a back end way of having that conversation with them. Again, there's a million ways to talk to owners. It's just about talking to them. It's about getting those conversations down and building the rapport. You doing it is far superior than anybody, but I know not everybody has that time. We've built up a team of virtual assistants that do it for us. They get that first touch point to see if there's any interest, right? They become a warm lead, and then we follow up immediately with that second touch. Better than anything is going to be in person. But I live in California. Our facility's in Kansas. It's not always an easy trip to make it to these areas, right? You're not going to be traveling around every day. So you do what you can when you can, okay? So first, pick your area. Second, do that self-storage search nearby and start listing all of those down. Start making those calls and talking to those owners, building the rapport. Now, for a deeper dive, we use skip tracers like Neighbor Who, and you can search property and people in it. And this provides you with a bunch of information about the owners of the property. This was a previous owner. And it also provides you with information about the facility itself. Okay. You can search by property, by people, by phone, email, all of that. Neighbor Who is fantastic. We use that as one of our primary skip tracers. Next would be Land Glide. So this shows you parcel information. If you only have the address and you're trying to figure out like who owns the property or the surrounding properties or what the border of the property is, Land Guide. Super easy, super affordable. It's just really accessible, easy to access for all of us in the company doing this work. Okay, so you start with your Google search. Find that market that you want to jump into, do the self-storage search nearby, and then start listing them and making those calls. As you're making those calls, you want to gather more information. So, of course, you're going to do your skip tracing to figure out, okay, who the owner is. Maybe you do this even before you make that call. And then you're looking at the parcel information to see if all of that matches up. And really, at its very basic, that's all that it takes. It's persistence. It's being consistent with the relationships you build with the owners, and it's kind of both a relationship game and a numbers game. And so if you get really good at this, which this was our approach because we came into this without a lot of capital, without having experience in operating facilities, we figured that we would get really good at finding facilities. And so we ourselves got really good at this. And then as we began to expand, we brought other members in, virtual assistants, and we taught them our skills. And so instead of working in the business ourselves, we were working on it, right? And currently we manage a team that does all this for us. So this is, back to Michael Gerber's E-Myth, is instead of working in your business, work on it. So we built a team to help us work in the business so that we could do bigger and better things, right? You take our hourly rate just on our normal W-2s, and is that time that we were spending grinding, making these lists worth that? And at first, yes, absolutely. But if we can have others come in and help us with that, even better, so that we can continue to grow it. And that's what we did. So now we have a team of virtual assistants that are doing this, making those calls with those first touch points. And then we come in and we do the follow-up, and we nurture those relationships, and we build the rapport with owners, brokers, contractors, everybody that is involved in this process that could potentially help us land a deal. Okay. It seems complicated. It seems like a wild and crazy thing. It seems much more manageable to go residential and to purchase a residential house, and it's less money down. We live in homes, and so we're familiar with homes. But I'm telling you that it is just as simple, if not more simple, to find a self-storage facility and purchase it. And really, this is where it starts. It starts with finding those facilities, because we are a testament to the fact that if you can find them, the money will come. These are living and breathing business operations that are cash flowing money. And there's people with a lot of money out there that do not have the time or the desire to do this. And they want their money working for them in a real estate asset as well as a business, and self-storage is both. So get really good at finding those facilities if you don't know how to operate them or you don't have the money. If you have the money, find people that are good at finding the facilities and good at operating them. If you're good at operating them, find people that can find the facilities or have money, right? And then bit by bit, learn from them, add those tools to your tool belt, and then you will have the trifecta of operations, acquisitions, and capital. And that's really what it takes. In the comments, I'm going to put a document that shows just the basic step-by-step process of this, most of which I covered in here. But if you want to see that visually, I put the document in there so you can check it out. Hope you enjoy. Remember, this is much easier than you think it is. You are fully capable of doing it yourself. Have fun.